From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Don Mitchell. Prime Minister Mark Carney used social media today to reiterate his government's efforts to boost interprovincial trade and build major projects to boost exports to non-American peers. In a YouTube video this morning, the PM also pledged to make regular updates on a pivot away from the U.S.
Security can't be achieved by ignoring the obvious or downplaying the very real threats that we Canadians face. I promise you, I will never sugarcoat our challenges. Instead, I will talk with you directly and regularly about our plan.
Carney's comments come days after forming a majority in Parliament as the Conservatives push Carney and his government to deliver a U.S. trade deal, which is among his promises in last year's election. One of Manitoba's largest First Nations is finalizing an evacuation plan as the area prepares for imminent flooding from the nearby Fisher River. In an online video posted yesterday, Peguis First Nation Chief Stan Bird asked 3,800 residents living on the reserve not to panic, but to be prepared to heed any evacuation orders.
The severity of flooding is dependent on whether temperatures jump to the high teens during the week. And added to this, we must also consider the recent snowfall and the precipitation we have received or will receive in the coming days.
Bird says volunteers in the community 180 kilometers north of Winnipeg have been working tirelessly to prevent damage to about 225 homes at greatest risk in the looming flood. The latest on the Middle East conflict sees U.S. President Donald Trump announcing a second round of peace talks between Washington and Iran. However, those talks appear to be up in the air. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang explains.
We're just learning now, according to media affiliated with the IRGC, that Iran says they're not attending those talks until the U.S. ends its naval blockade on Iranian ships. Well, President Trump has made it very clear that he's not ending that blockade until they 100% reach a deal. So we are seeing these conflicting messages coming from both sides.
Meanwhile, Trump says the U.S. has seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship near the Strait of Hormuz. The president claims the ship ignored warnings and was stopped by a U.S. Navy destroyer. Authorities in Louisiana say a probe into domestic shootings that left 8 children dead continues tonight. Police say 2 different homes in the city of Shreveport are involved. The children killed early today, ranging age from 1 to 14 years old. And the Mario Brothers are still super at the movie theaters this weekend. Here's ABC's Chuck Severson.
With another $35 million in ticket sales, the Super Mario Galaxy movie topped the box office for the 3rd consecutive weekend since its release. It's now the highest-grossing film of 2026, and is on track to reach $1 billion worldwide. Project Hail Mary was second with $20.5 million. In third, the debut of the R-rated Lee Cronin's The Mummy with $13.5 million.
Nice. The wedding is this Saturday.
The drama was fourth, You, Me, and Tuscany fifth.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, still no confirmation that Leon Draisaitl will make it into the Edmonton Oilers lineup for Game 1 of their best-of-7 with the Anaheim Ducks tomorrow. Draisaitl did skate at a Rogers Place practice today after missing 14 games of the regular season with a knee injury. In the Professional Women's Hockey League, Savannah Harmon and Daryl Watts each scored a goal, and Reagan Kirk had 24 saves to lead the Toronto Scepters to a 2-0 win over the Minnesota Frost. The Scepters are now 2 points behind Ottawa for the 4th and final playoff spot with 2 games to play. Ontario's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder are on the court right now in game number 1 of their best-of-7 with the Phoenix Suns. The Thunder are the defending champions and a favorite, as is Gilgeous-Alexander to repeat as league MVP. He finished second in scoring with 31.1 points per game in the regular season. And Jason Tatum had 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists as the Boston Celtics rolled past the Philadelphia 76ers 123-91 in game 1 of their Eastern Conference first-round matchup. From the Canadian Press, I'm Don Mitchell.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.